Hey guys, it's Jen, and I'm here today with my July wrap-up, part one. So in the month of July, I read a total of 19 books, and in order for me to go over all of those in one video, it would be super long. So I'm going to split it up into two videos so that I don't have like a super long video for you guys to watch. So the first book that I read in the month of July was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I listened to this on audiobook as you guys know, I've been listening to the books for my reread, and all I can say is it is a completely different experience for me to listen to them, and I'm really enjoying it. So I would definitely recommend giving these a listen to if you're going to reread the series, because it will be a brand new experience for you. But I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars, obviously. I really enjoy Goblet of Fire. It's not my favorite Harry Potter book, but it's one of the top ones. So the next book that I read in the month of July was an ebook, and that was Manners and Mutiny by Gail Carriger. It's the final book in the Finishing School series, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 star rating, and I'm just really gonna miss this series. Like, I just absolutely love the Finishing School books, and I'm just gonna miss that. I've already started reading the Per Adult series because I wasn't ready to give up that world yet, so I'm glad that there are more books in that world for me to read because I'm not ready to give it up yet. Um, I thought it was a really great final book for a series, and there's just so much that happened in it. It was really good. I don't really want to say anything because I don't want to give any spoilers, but I definitely recommend that series. It is a really good series. So the third book that I read in the month of July was The Winner's Goosed by Marie Rudkowski. Again, this was another series ending that was really solid. I gave this one 4 out of 5. I didn't quite like it as much as I like The Winter's Crime, but that's just because there are moments in this one where it dragged a little bit for me. That took away a little bit of my enjoyment of it because nobody likes to read a book that like drags a little bit. So I found the first part of the book dragged a bit. But once you got past that, it was really good. And I was really sad to finish this series. But Marie Rudkowski is probably now one of my auto-buy authors because I enjoyed this series so much. Next book that I read in the month of July was The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. I read this one as part of the biannual bibliothon, which I absolutely failed at. I really enjoyed this one. I gave it 4 out of 5 because the beginning was really slow. So it didn't really pick up until about between 150 and 200 pages in, and then I got really caught up in it. But before then, it was really slow, and I honestly didn't care if I read it or not. But it took me a week to read this because of how slow the beginning was. But overall, I did really enjoy it. I've heard that people don't like this one as much as her other books, so I'm definitely going to have to check out her other books since this one is not considered to be a favorite. So I will definitely have to check out her other books. Then the next book that I read was an ebook, and that was Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover, and that was another one that I read for the biannual bibliothon. I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5 because I did really enjoy it, but there was just too many things that bothered me as well. Like, the book basically starts off with the main character being cheated on. The cheating thing comes up again, and it's just like, it just it bothered me a little bit, but then it kind of got past that and it was fine. But I did really enjoy it. I had a hard time putting it down. It's just, I didn't like that it based a lot of its plot line off of cheating. I just don't like cheating. I'm sure nobody likes it. So then the next book that I read was Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which I listened to, obviously, and really enjoyed listening to this one. Broke my heart again. It broke my heart. always breaks my heart. But I love this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 because it's Harry Potter, and Harry Potter always gets 5 out of 5 from me. And then the next book that I read was Just Listen by Sarah Dessen. I gave this one 4 out of 5. It was a really good book. I mean, I love Sarah Dessen's books, so I read a lot of her books, like 8 or 9 of her books, maybe even 10 of them. I really enjoy most of them. Like, there's the odd one that I don't really like, but this one was really good. It's about a girl named Annabelle who's a model, and she doesn't want to really do that anymore, but her mom really wants her to. And she loses her best friend because of something that happens, and she just is like in her final year of high school, and she doesn't have any friends, and she kind of just has to remake herself. She has to be herself, which is something she hasn't done before, really. She's always just gone with what other people want her to do. So it was a really good coming of age story. And the next book that I read was Salt of the Sea by Ruta Sepetys, and this book, I mean, I haven't actually read a whole lot of World War II fiction, and I don't know why, because I always end up really enjoying it. Like, I read Sarah's Key and I read The Book Thief, and I really enjoyed both of those, and this one was no exception. I gave this 4.5 out of 5, despite the fact that I knew where this book was going to end up. I mean, you can kind of tell just from the cover that it's heading towards shipwreck. But I would start to read this and I just flew through it. Like, all of the chapters are quite short. They're only like 1 to, like, the most would maybe be like 5 pages for a chapter. And there's 4 different points of view. And it was really good, and it was my first experience with this author, and I had heard amazing things about it, so I had to pick it up, and I'm really glad that I did because I loved it. And I'm probably going to be searching out more World War II fiction, so if you have any recommendations for any good World War II fiction, leave it down below and I will have to check it out, because I haven't really read much of it all. Like, all I can think of is this and The Book Thief and Sarah's Key. That's all I can think of that I've read from that period in time. And I love historical fiction, so leave a recommendation down below for your favorite and I will have to check it out. But I would definitely recommend this book, and I'm definitely going to be reading more by this author in the future. So the next book that I read was Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So I listened to this one as well, and of course absolutely loved it, gave it 5 out of 5. Like I said, it is an entirely different experience, and I would highly recommend listening to the audiobooks for these when you reread it, because they are just so good. But yeah, 5 out of 5 for the Half-Blood Prince, of course, and because it is Harry Potter, and Harry Potter is amazing. And the final book that I'm going to show for the first half of my July read is Soldier by Julie Kagawa. I read this as part of the booktubeathon, and I absolutely loved it because it's Julie Kagawa. She is one of my favorite authors, and I mean, this book is about dragons, and it was just really good. It is the 3rd book in the series. Can't remember how many books are in this series. I think it's 5 or 6, I'm not sure, but I love it and I cannot wait to read the next one because Julie Kagawa is evil and she always has like a ridiculous cliffhanger, and this book was no exception to that. So those are the first 10 books that I read in the month of July. Let me know down below if you've read any of them, and if you have, what you thought about them, and I will see you guys later. Bye!